Hello. In last lecture, I was explaining what is force and three laws of motion. Now we are interested to study types of force. So there are two types of force, real force and pseudo force. So what is real force? A force which is produced due to interaction between the objects is called real force. Okay, so it has specific source and origin external to the body experiencing that force. It can be explained on the basis of fundamental interaction like gravitational, nuclear, or electromagnetic forces. So example for this force is the earth revolves around the sun in circular path due to gravitational force of attraction between the sun and the earth. Another example is binding of protons and neutrons in the nucleus of an atom is due to the nuclear force. Now move towards second force, pseudo force. It is an apparent force that acts on all masses whose motion is described using non-inertial frame of reference, such as a rotating reference frame. I will give some views on reference frame in next lecture. Actually, pseudo forces are not result of any interaction, rather it is due to change of frame of reference. Pseudo force is used only when one observes from an accelerated frame. For this, we take one example. When we are traveling by a bus and if the bus is suddenly stops, we feel a push in forward direction. So this force we cannot attribute to any external source. Hence, we cannot explain this phenomena using Newton's law of motion because, according to the Newton's law, only external force can change the motion of the body. So, however, the push that we experience when the bus stops suddenly is due to our own inertia. In order to apply Newton's law to explain this situation, we need to introduce an extra force term in the equation of motion. So this added term, which does not have a real origin, is called pseudo force. An example for this force is when a vehicle moves along a curved road, a passenger in the vehicle experiences a force in the outward direction. Now, force is further classified into general forces. These are the non-contact force and contact force. As we know, force is the external agent that produces motion or tends to produce motion, or it stops motion or tends to stop motion. So basically, there are two types of force which are given here with some classification. So in non-contact force, there are three parts: gravitational force, electromagnetic force, and nuclear force. And again, further classification is this electric force and magnetic force. Now contact force. In that two classification, push or pull force. And push is again divided into friction force and normal force. And pull is have some part is tension force. Okay. So below some pictures are given to understand force. So this is the gravitational force, electric force, magnetic force. So these forces I will explain in my next lecture. Spring force, some applied force to the trolley, then frictional force and normal force. Okay. I hope you all understand today's concept.